Hello, this is Barry O'Connell, and we're going to be talking about vacancies. You know, as people move into new positions and get selected for other things, that opens up a vacancy. And now we're going into what's typically the second round of vacancies. Um, we're going to be talking about Pimlico area, District 41, um, Western Baltimore City. We're going to be talking about Baltimore County, District 8, which is on the other side of Baltimore City from Pimlico, and then we're going to talk about Anne Arundel County. The big the big premier fight right now. I'm not sure how much of a fight it's going to be. Um, Senator Kathy Kloss-Meyer has moved up to county executive, which opens up a Senate seat in District 8. Um, Nick Allen is a delegate with these two gentlemen. He's already declined to run. You got to keep in mind, you don't get paid anything more. Um, there's a perception of glory with being a senator, but for the same pay, if he likes his committee assignments, he likes his work, he likes the things he's doing, he feels comfortable, there's no reason for Nick to move up. Um, that leaves these two gentlemen. On the left, we have Carl Jackson, and on the right, we have Harry Bhandari. Right now, everything I'm getting indicates that Carl Jackson has this locked up. He's got a record of doing good, successful work. People like working with him. Um, at this point, between um, between elected officials endorsing him and union endorsements, and he's got the Clem Kakis endorsement. Clem is a mover and shaker in state politics, not just Baltimore County. I mean, Clem was a person who took care of problems for um, Comptroller Peter Franchot. Uh, he also raised a good bit of money for Peter Franchot. So Clem has wide-reaching influence across the state. He pushed the idea of Kathy Kloss-Meyer for county executive with the idea of moving Carl Jackson up into the Senate seat. So I'd say right now, with all that support, I think Carl Jackson is the smart choice. Harry Bhandari is a good guy. He's from Nepal. Um, we don't have a huge population of Nepalese in this country, but I think he may well be the senior most elected official from Nepal. Um, he ran against Johnny O in the Democratic primary for Congress recently. Um, that, if anything, is a problem. I think it hurts his campaign for Senate. The idea that he's pushing himself forward for every available vacancy is a less than ideal situation. So I think it's going to be Jackson. Let's talk about these two young ladies. If one of the delegates, whether it's Jackson or anybody else, if one of the delegates moves up to Senate, that opens up a vacancy on the delegate level. Um, on the left, we've got Dalya Okafor. Um, she's gone through a merge. She's highly respected for the work she's doing for Brooke Lehrman. Um, the indications I'm getting now is she's saying she's not going to run. She's not looking for this position at this time. How it finally shakes out, I have no idea. But the indication I'm getting is she's not going to run. Yeah, I'm still fighting that cough, so I had to take a drink of water. Kim Ross is the Central Committee member in District 8. People like her. She's a hard worker. She's really paid her dues and put in a lot of work to build up her name. And she's got the coveted Clem Cakis endorsement. You know, that's Clem's home district. When he pushes, he's been doing this a long time. I mean, he goes all the way back to um, when uh, when William Donald Schaefer was running for council. I mean, Schaefer went to him and they worked out a deal. I mean, Clem's been here forever, uh, and he's feels very strongly that Kim Ross is a highly qualified person. So she's definitely the person to watch in that. But in the future, Delhi is a very respected person. She was a delegate uh, to the convention. Um, we'll see more of her. Let's go on over to Western Baltimore, District 41. Joe Carter dropped out. Um, she got a chance to go and work for the governor. She's an attorney. She's competent and capable. Um, I think she was just getting frustrated. It was time to get out of the state senate. She took an awful lot of abuse over the juvenile crime bill. Uh, I'm not sure it was fair. Jill was my senator when I lived in West Baltimore. She does a good job um, on a lot of issues like um, streets and curbs and roads and sidewalks. She was great. Um, she meant a lot to my neighborhood, cleaning up some problem areas, dealing with issues. Then she'd go off and march in the Bernie Sanders parade and talk about forced Medicare, whether you wanted it or not. Anyway, Jill had strongly held opinions. She finally was of the opinion to leave the Senate, and now there's speculation over who's going to replace her. Um, on the left, we have Dalya Attar. Um, she's a prosecutor, an attorney, highly competent, um, deeply respected. She's had a solid record in the House. And in many ways, she's seen as the voice of the Jewish Jewish community in West Baltimore and Pikesville. She's very much an important representative of an important block of people. Um, she's if she decides to run, and nobody's said they're running yet, um, but she's likely to be the pick if she goes for it. Then we've got Malcolm Ruff on the right. Um, he's only served in the House. He was an appointee. He's never been elected to office. He was appointed in 23, um, served through 24. Uh, he he's an attorney. Um, I don't know him. He's got a good reputation, but I don't know him. I should have asked Clem Cakis about this race, but I forgot to. Anyway, and then um, Yitzi Schlafer, Yitzi in the center. I don't think he's running. I'd be surprised if he ran. Um, if he ran, one of the things is that no matter how much money you make, you get used to spending it. Pay cuts are very difficult for people. If Yitzi decided to leave council at $76,000 a year and go to work as a um, as a state senator for 52 or 53,000 a year, that would be a surprise. People don't usually trade down. Um, he's a popular councilman. He's respected. He's doing well. I don't see why he'd leave council. But hey, what do I know? He could have other ambitions. Let's go on over and talk about District 31 in Anne Arundel County. Um, if you think a second, you'll probably remember the story, but um, Sarah Elfreth ran for Congress, had to give up her Senate seat. When she gave her Senate seat up, the Senate seat went to, um, I've completely forgotten her name, Henson. I forget her first name. Um, a woman who had a lot of ethics problems, but she got the seat anyway. District 31 is a district with a high tolerance for corruption. It takes in downtown, um, what takes in the city of Annapolis and the surrounding area. That's the old Mike Bush district. When Mike was uh, Speaker of the House, under Mike, 11 members of the House went to prison. Nobody's going to prison under Speaker Jones. I mean, 11 people going to prison is shocking. But District 31 was always willing to put up with that perception of corruption. And then Sarah Elfreth, all the way through, she was seen as Mike Bush's protege. Um, she was very close to Mike. She worked closely with him. Um, and then Henson got caught in that ethics thing where she um, violated House ethics by moving $1.5 million to her church without telling anybody on appropriations that it was her church, and she just slid the thing through as if it were, a regular deal. And then she got caught and she got bounced out of appropriations, and she still gets the appointment. It just when we look back at how corrupt Maryland was in the Mike and Mike days, we still see vestiges of that corruption in District 31, especially District 31. So let's forget that. Uh, I don't know either of these gentlemen. I've heard of um, on the left, Brooks Schandelmeier, real strong reputation, solid guy. Um, he's thrown his hat in the ring for this job. And then on the right, we've got Dylan Behler. Um, Dylan was part of Sarah Elfreth's team and worked closely with Sarah over the years. Now, I don't want you to think just because there's questions about Sarah that means Dylan is a crook. We should not assume that. We should give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't know anything bad about the guy, but that's very much this situation. Between the two of them, it's probably going to go to one of them. Brooks has a strong reputation with the party apparatus, and Dylan is close to the county executive and to the congresswoman. So we'll see what happens there. Uh, let's give a brief recap on Prince George's County. I don't want to focus on this, but here's the thing. Let's start up in the upper left. We've got former Governor Hogan with his close friend Aisha Braveboy, and directly clothe him Aisha with, I don't know why she's using that as her campaign picture, but that is an amazing campaign picture. It looks like she kind of reminds me of like a, never mind. I can't say it. People will think I'm being mean to her. I am not saying Aisha's ugly. I think you can tell by just looking at her. Striking good looks. So I am not saying she's ugly. Um, I'm not making fun of her looks at all. I think that's an odd picture, but it is what it is. Um, then let's go to the upper right-hand corner. We've got Rusher and Baker. Um, I don't know if Baker's a serious candidate or not. Um, he's being perceived by some people as a vanity candidate, that he doesn't really have the money to run. He doesn't have the backing to run. He doesn't have the public name to run. Um, he doesn't seem to be pulling a strong response except for a handful of old friends. I don't know what that means. I don't think he's a bad guy. I just I'm not sure if he's a vanity candidate or not. Another guy who's fallen into the vanity candidate is lower right hand corner, um, Calvin Hawkins. Calvin Hawkins was in the race, then out of the race, then in the race, then out of the race. Now he's back in the race, and his wife says it's okay if he runs. And his polling numbers are disastrous. On top of that, the perception was that he was going to support Angela. Angela was going to win the Senate seat, that she was going to endorse Calvin and put him in office, and the endorsement hasn't come through yet. And Calvin doesn't have nearly the money he might have hoped to. It seems like he may have spent a lot of it on Angela, but he's faltering in the race. He seems to be falling behind. Um, Another guy who's on the edge of vanity candidate status. I don't mean to insult anybody, but if you don't have a serious chance to win, what are you doing in the race? And the in and the out, and the in and the out, and the wife says he can run and all that stuff. It's just disastrous for his campaign. He's not catching on fire. And then we have Alonzo Washington. Alonzo's a good guy, a solid guy, state senator. Um, uh, he put up with that. I don't want to call him an idiot. He put up with Paul Penske for years. I think he probably should have run against Penske, but I don't think he had quite that much ambition. Um, he's a better senator than Penske was. Penske was a backbencher who never accomplished much of anything outside of periodically insulting Peter Franchot to make um, Mike Miller happy. Um, Paul never did much of anything, and now Alonso is running, and most of the people I'm talking to tell me we don't know what he's running for, really. We think he's running for something else and is doing this as a device to get his name out there and pick up publicity. You know, um, Somewhere between a stunt candidate and a vanity candidate. Um, it's hard to tell. It's just really hard to tell. Right now, the only serious candidate in the race outside of Jolene Ivey is probably probably Aisha Braveboy. Um, she's doing very, very badly on endorsements. So far, she's getting a very loud, vocal, lunatic fringe um, element supporting her. People like Walla Blagay. Walla never did apologize for what happened. Never mind. Let's not talk about that night when she did the terrible thing during a council meeting. Um, Edward Burrows is a shameful candidate who's come out strongly for Aisha. Aisha hired him. Now he's got to support her. Um, and they pressure poor Crystal Oriata. Poor Crystal Oriata. I mean, they know they could just talk her into doing anything. Um, it's not very nice. In the center, we've got the strongest candidate in the race, the person with the name, the person with the money, the person who's moving on up, Jolene Ivey. I'll be surprised if she doesn't win. No, I'll be more than surprised. If Jolene doesn't win, I'll be shocked. But that's the way I'm calling it. Jolene in first, Aisha in second, and then Baker, Hawkins, and Washington, all probably getting less than 5% of the vote. And that's it for this evening. I want to remind everybody you're welcome to come on over to Facebook and check out um, Everybody's Maryland Politics, um, where we talk about this stuff on a regular basis. Thank you and hope you enjoy the program.